The naval battle of Portland, or the 3 Days Battle, took place during the 18th to the 20th of February 1653 during the First Anglo-Dutch War, when the fleet of the Commonwealth of England under General at Sea Robert Blake was attacked by a fleet of the Dutch Republic under the Lieutenant Admiral Martin Trump, escorting merchant ships through the English Channel. The battle failed to settle supremacy at the English Channel, although both sides claimed victory and the ultimate control of the Channel would only be decided at the Battle of the Gabal, which allowed the English to blockade the Dutch coast under the Battle of Scheveningen, where Admiral Martin Trump was killed in a firefight. This changed when parliamentary armies finally routed the Royalists at the Battle of Worcester, effectively ending the English Civil War. With Cromwell fully in power, the Parliament passed the Navigation Act of 1651, requiring all goods destined to English ports to be transported by English ships, which impacted part of the Dutch ability to trade, since they were cut off from all England's colonies in the Americas and elsewhere. Later that year, the Parliament gave an order which allowed privateers and warships to seize Dutch shipping. Parliament began to enforce the sovereignty over the British seas, which granted the Royal Navy dominion from the North Sea to Cape Finisterre. The translation of Parliament's words into action came when St. George Iascus folded the Barbados into the Commonwealth and seized 27 Dutch merchantmen. The Dutch response was divided. The moderate states of Holland pursued a policy of appeasement, but when the negotiations failed and the Navigation Acts were adopted, the ferocious Orangist factions became more and more powerful, and the States General passed a resolution which would allow the Dutch war fleet to be tripled in size. To protect Dutch interests over the areas in question, these fleets were put under the command of Admiral Martin Trump, who had defeated the 6th and the final Spanish Armada at the Battle of the Downs. 31st of October 1639, that same year, the Dutch signed a treaty with Denmark, and with the intent to hurt English trade routes. War finally broke out after a confrontation between the admirals Robert Blake and Martin Trump, May 1652, at the Battle of Dover.
Minor skirmishes followed the Battle of Plymouth, the Battle of Elba, and the Battle of Kentish Knock. The two fleets met for the first time in a major battle at the Battle of Dungeness, November 1652. The battle turned out to be a failure for the English, forcing them to rethink their naval strategy, led by Admiral Sir Henry Vane and Admiralty Committee, including developing a tactic that would mark naval warfare for the following century. Taking a page out of the Dutch book, the English reorganised each fleet into squadrons for greater tactical control. In fact, the tactic, renamed the line of battle tactic, will remain key to English-British naval strategy until the end of the Second World War. The two fleets would meet again off Portland.
Trump's flagship, Road, met Blake's flagship, Triumph, immediately sending a broadside at mere meters distance, turning around without having received a response from the English gunners. He put on a second broadside in Triumph's other side, and finally then delivered a third after turning around again. Blake subsequently veered away and decided to fight at long range. Dutch Commodore de Ruyter was able to attack the English rear and engage the largest English vessel in the fleet, Prosperity, ending in a boarding attempt, which was repulsed by the crew of the English vessel the first time around. A second boarding attempt forced the Prosperity to surrender thereafter. However, An attempt to reclaim the ship surrounded De Ruyter, but after an intense fight, the Dutch Commodore was able to fight his way out. The battle continued for days with heavy firefighting by both sides. Later, on the 28th of February, Blake sent a squadron of frigates to intercept and claim the Dutch merchantman off the ship of La Rochelle. Tromp quickly responded by sending his own captains to intercept the English. Nonetheless, night brought a close news to the day's battle.
The third day ended just the same, with a failure to break the Dutch line. Several Dutch captains attempted to flee after completely running out of ammunition, but Tromp ended their fight with a few shots across their ships. The battle ended for a day when Blake drew off, after forcing the Dutch to fight to the point where they only had half an hour worth of shot left. Blake's reasoning for the disengagement had been attributed to the fact that he had received a wound on the thigh that day. On the fourth day, the English again attempted to rescue action, but they found the sea empty of Dutch warships. Tromp had guided the remainder of his fleet along the coastline, engaging certain defeat the next day, leaving 8 warships and a number of merchantmen behind. Although both sides claimed victory after the battle, the fact remains that it was Tromp who left the field, not Blake, and in the end, it was Blake who was able to command the 20 to 40 Dutch merchantmen and at least 8 Dutch warships back to the home port.
My God, I don't just my face.
Oh my god.
What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that?